Welcome to Swolefam. While we love having epic battles in the 41st millennia, there's something to be said about reliving some of the greatest moments of the Horus Heresy. Which is why I started How to Heresy! The mission is simple. Help new players make a fun and efficient 2k point list from a specific legion. We're doing 2,000 points as a good starting spot instead of 3,000 because it's more accessible and still a good learning point for new players. As always, we avoid repeat purchases unless unavoidable. It's just boring to be like, hey, buy 2 Age of Darkness boxes, call it a day. These lists emphasize theme and function. We want it to be fluffy while having a game plan still. That being said, still no min-maxing here. Lastly to note, Horus Heresy lists can be built and modeled in many different ways. This is just a template for one and a brief overview at that. I could make 20 to 40 minute videos about the dozens of ways you could build your list differently. Like I said, this is just one of them. And unlike our starting Sigmar and first 40k series, the focus will be on plastic models, but it will also cover resin units as well, because resin is so prominent in this game. So join me as we terrorize our foes as the Night Lords. So why play Night Lords? Butchers, thieves, and everything in between. The Night Lords are murder forward, even more so than a normal space marine. Originally missioned to police the galaxy, the Night Lords took to terrorizing and eviscerating criminals in such brutal fashion that is actually worse than majority of the crimes committed. To this end, Primarch Conrad Kurz and the Night Lords were a perfect fit to turn traitor and join Horus, the War Master. On the tabletop, Night Lords are perfectly represented with benefits of overwhelming your opponents with advantageous numbers and causing fear amongst their ranks. You'll be using fast foot troops, bikes, and jump packs to swiftly get to where you need to be, though their Terminators are no joke either. Aesthetically, dark armor marked with lightning strikes are adorned with red helmet wings and grisly trophies to boot. So if you want to force your enemies to fight on your terms with terror tactics, then the Night Lords are for you. Now on to the buy list. And as with most of these lists, we're starting with the Age of Darkness box. It's too great of a value, and Night Lords happen to fit Mark 6 aesthetic pretty well. Then we're going with the Mark 6 Assault Squads. These are jump pack assault squads. They'll get in your opponent's face quickly, and also they count as compulsory troop choices. Then lastly, the Special Weapons Upgrade set. Yes, this is all we need for our 2,000 point list of Horus Heresy, and it'll clock around $300 if you get some of the good deals. Obviously, this is assuming if you're going the GW route. If you go elsewhere, the price will vary and they're not covered here. On to the list itself, and we're making our Night Lords traitor, as you could probably assume, and doing the Terror Assault Rite of War. The bike one, well, interesting, is a weird build around and a little too finicky for my taste. Starting with our single HQ, we're taking the Axe Praetor from the Age of Darkness box, upgrading him to the Headman's Axe, just because it is way too fitting not to. Then we equip the Contemptor from the Age of Darkness box with a Power Fist and a built-in Melt-A-Gun in that fist and an Assault Cannon in the other arm. Then 10 Cataphracti Terminators will be equipped with Power Fists and ride in a Land Raider Spartan. I know a lot of people like to run their Terminators, especially Night Lords or Blood Angels with Lightning Claws, and that's totally fine. You can do that as well. Then we take the Assault Squad from the Assault Squad box and run them as is, but we're going to take 30 of the Tactical Marines in Age of Darkness and split them into groups of 15 with chain bayonets. This is so they outnumber normal groups of 10 on the tabletop. Then we take the remaining 10 Tactical Marines, put flamers on them, and run them as terror squads. I know people like to run them with rotor cannons, which is also totally, again, an option you can do, but the flamers having assault and so you'll be able to run and still shoot with them is very Night Lordsy. There are Terror Squad specific bits you can get online, but for now, you just use the ones as flamers for your Terror Squad and maybe paint their helmets differently, just to annotate them otherwise. And then after that, I left 25 points in this list for you to kind of go in whatever direction you want. If you want to add another las cannon on your Spartan, go ahead, go do it. As I prefaced, even this list with these models can be built in a ton of different ways. This is just one template, and we want to make as much flexibility for you as possible. So that's it! Thanks for sticking around with us as we go into our slower schedule. Hope you enjoy the Horus Heresy content. Comment if you want to see a How to Heresy with a legion of your choice, or maybe even Custodes or Mechanicum, other ones that are available in the Horus Heresy. Or even stay tuned, because you might see starter series like this for Underworlds and Old World. So as always, I'm Rafiq with Swolhammer. Stay swole.